Hey, my praise, what's up? It's Barry. Today I want to take a look at Psalm 142. It says, I cry aloud to the Lord. I lift up my voice to the Lord for mercy. I pour out my complaint before Him. Before Him, I tell Him my trouble. When my spirit grows faint within me, it is You who know my way. In the path where I walk, men have hidden a snare for me. Look to my right and see no one is concerned for me. I have no refuge. No one cares for my life. I cry to You, O Lord. I say, You are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Listen to my cry, for I am in desperate need. Rescue me from those who pursue me, for they are too strong for me. Set me free from my prison, that I may praise Your name. Then the righteous will gather about me because of Your goodness to me. Now that was written by David. We can tell that. I mean, it says right here, under Psalm 42, it says, a maskil, which is something in Hebrew, I don't know, of David, when he was in the cave, a prayer. Now, when we think of David and we hear about David in sermons, and we read about him, we think he's a mighty warrior. He fought many battles. He became king. He was a man after God's own heart. He's this mighty guy in the Lord. He's strong. He's able to overcome anything, we think. But that's not true. He was a man, just like we are. I mean, just through this whole passage, you can see that he's tortured. He's in distress. He needs help. He's a human like us. In verse 6 of 142, it says, "Listen to my cry, for I am in desperate need. Rescue me, rescue me." This guy's a warrior. He probably has muscles this big, and he's asking God to rescue him. How humble is that? And I guess that's kind of the topic. Well, from what I can see of this passage, I'm sure there's other topics that you could talk about, like, complaining to God. It says, I pour out my complaint before Him. Who likes to hear a whiner? But we all do it. But the main thing I see here is humbleness in David. He humbles himself before the Lord. He recognizes that God is the only one who can protect him, who can save him. He recognizes that not by his own will, and we see that all through the New Testament, Paul teaching us, not by our own will, but by God's will, we can overcome things. And even in the Old Testament, from this instant, David says, I can't do this alone, I need God. So, what should that tell us? That should tell us that we need to cast down our own selfish ambitions, thinking that we can do this, we can overcome this, that we can do whatever we want. And it's nice, it's nice to say, God's with me, God protect me, God give me strength. It's nice to say that, but that's not the case. We need to be like David, and humble ourselves. Recognize our own problems, our own disasters that are looming, and cry out to God. God wants that from us, actually. He wants us to cry out to Him. He wants us to get closer. And it's apparent, David's running, he's in a cave, and, it says, let's see, where does it say? Listen to my cry, for I am in desperate need. Rescue me from those who pursue me. I think he's talking about King Solomon right there, if I'm not mistaken. Think of that situation. David was told by a prophet that he was going to be king. He was going to not overthrow Solomon, but he was going to take Solomon's place as king of Israel. And he knew that was God's will. But yet Solomon is chasing him. He's trying to kill him. He hates him. He hates David. And they used to be good friends. So, of course, David's like, what's going on? I mean, I need help here. But he knows he's not angry at God at all. to us, it would seem like he has every right to be angry, but he really doesn't. And he's not a fool for recognizing that. He recognizes that it's God's will that this is happening. It stinks, it really does, but he's crying out to God for help. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to humble ourselves, forget our selfish ambitions, and focus on the Lord. And just reading this passage, I just read this recently, and reading it, it was just, it hit me because some things I'm struggling with. I deal a lot with, giving it to God. Not saying that God has to do everything for me, because we have our own part to do. We have to get closer. We have to fight. But we can't think that we can do it all, because we can't. So this was a testimony to me. It's encouragement, and I hope it was to you. So walk in the Lord.